How's it going, everybody? This is Brian Funk, aka AfroDJMac, and I'm here to tell you about my new Ableton Live pack, Real Synths Volume 1 Prophet 6. There's 30 of them in total, so I wanted to show you a few. Here's the first one here. It's called New Vision. Now what happens when you open the project, you get your 30 instruments loaded onto tracks, so you can just kind of sample through them real quick by just moving along the tracks and hearing what you get. Lots of life to these. I love them. Now, inside the folder, you've got your project file, you got the samples, and you've also got your presets folder. And this is an easy way to access these and put these into any project. You just drag them onto tracks. There's also a couple audio effects that come with this too that you can use inside any project on any sound. Now this sound I think is especially cool because what I did here is I just got this little short sample, kind of like a little plucky sound on the Prophet, but then when I put it into Ableton Sampler, I had it reverse back and forth a little bit. So there's this back and forth, reverse, forward action happening. As you hold down the notes, you get that looping action. And it starts creating these neat polyrhythms, off time. I don't know what to call it, but you can hear like the rhythm keeps changing over and over again the longer you hold down the notes. Really interesting sound. So inside all of the instrument racks are a whole bunch of macro controls. So on our first set of macros, we have our low pass filter. We've got control over the resonance here as well within the rack. Then we've got tremolo. So I'm going to turn that control up. And in there we can also play with the rate of the tremolo. How fast we want it. So you can hear pretty quickly. We get quite a different sound just playing with those first two knobs. So I'm going to turn these back to their neutral position. The next control is a tape hiss. So this is actually kind of a neat thing. What I've done in an instrument rack is I've got my synth, which is the actual sample of the Prophet recorded to tape, but then I've also got one that's just a tape noise. So I'm going to solo this so you can hear it. It's just a loop of tape noise recorded straight from the Tascam. And inside here, you got a couple cool controls. You've got the tone. So you can change the pitch of the tape hiss if you like. We've got an attack, which shows how fast the tape comes in. That can be useful if you're playing a pad sound with a slow attack. You might want to make the tape hiss match that. We've also got the decay, the sustain, the release. We've got a high pass filter, which cuts out some of that low end. And if you're listening closely, you might hear there's a little more bass now, but I'm cutting it out. So that just cleans it up a little bit so you can make some more room for the synth. And there's also a low pass filter to cut off the high end. So maybe you want just a certain range of tape hiss. And finally, I put a LFO on the low pass filter. So you should hear almost like an ocean wave thing happening. And the reasoning behind these two filters really, aside from cleaning things up, is that you can sort of have a little fun with these on their own to create interesting sounds. So behind this synth now, I'm just going to turn the synth down a little bit so you can really hear it. We've almost got this kind of seashore type sound moving around, which I think is pretty interesting. Just another way to give a little more life to your synth here. I'm going to turn the tape hiss off now again. And let's just have a look at some more of these controls. We have a delay. Maybe I'll switch to another sound. This would be a nice one for the delay, so we'll turn up the delay on this sound. And inside the filtered delay rack, you have control over the delay time. Nice long delay or something faster. And you also have the feedback control for how long the delay will last. And you can have some fun manipulating the delay, as you can tell. We've got another low-pass filter later on in the chain. And the reason I did this is because I wanted to be able to filter the delay. So let's turn that delay back up. I'm filtering out the delay with this low-pass filter. And we've got some fun controls if you want to animate that filter a little bit. An LFO, the rate, and you can also choose the wave. So it's another option you have for sculpting your sound here. I just close these down so you can see the last rack, which is water and earth. This is one of the audio effect racks, just like filtered delay was. And it's got control over our chorus. This chorus is meant to just kind of widen the sound a little bit. And we'll play around with a different sound. Okay, so we'll close that down again. Let's go to another sound. What the heck? This one's called Kinda Pissed. It's probably the most aggressive sound in the collection. This one you can hear, we've got the chorus and the phaser up on this particular sound. Also some tremolo. That movement. And volume. So we'll go inside our water and earth device and just let you hear what the phaser controls will do. Turn up the LFO. And get some neat little sounds out of our phaser too. And what's kind of cool that's happening right now is we've got this rhythm of the tremolo moving around. I'm going to crank it all the way up. But there's also an interesting rhythm going on with the LFO. So you can have a lot of fun creating all these different layers and sounds. Move to another sound. This is a nice, very classic synthesizer type sound. So we'll play around with dirt. And as you can tell, it sounds dirtier. And we've got a control for the tone on our dirt. Like what kind of sound do we want on our dirt? It's a fun control to move around. This will be a nice sound to hear the dirt on. You can kind of get that like kind of seashore sound going by manipulating the dirt tone, just like you could with the hiss. And that is the pack. I think it's a lot of great sounds from the Prophet, of course, but once they get placed on that tape, just such an emotional sound right here. The tape really does just sort of kiss it with something special. So there you have it. Some Really nice, warm. Somewhat lo-fi-ish, but not too lo-fi. Just a nice touch of character. The tape does some magic to these sounds. I hope you enjoy that. Thanks for checking it out. It's Real Synths Volume 1, Prophet 6. I appreciate you watching this video and enjoy the rest of your day.